A recovery is an action you take in the air when reeling from an attack. It's used to escape your opponent's combo. When you recover, there is a period of time where you are invincible, so it's useful for avoiding your opponent's attacks. The command input for recovery is as follows. Press forward and A or B or C and hold for forward recovery. Press back and A or B or C and hold for backward recovery. Do not press any direction and simply press the A or B or C button to recover right where you are. Those are the 3 directions you can choose. For instance, you will probably do fine if you use forward recovery when you're being driven up against the edge of the screen, and backward recovery when you're near the center of the screen. There's a period of time immediately after getting hit by an attack, during which you can't recover. But don't worry, if you hold the direction you want to recover and hold down the button, you'll do an aerial roll at the first opportunity. Okay, your opponent is going to attack you and knock you into the air. Once you've been hit, try to do an aerial roll. Try doing forward, backward, and neutral recoveries. Action!
Mother! You stupid! Mother! Done already? Mother!
Do you understand how to do aerial rolls now? Learn to always do aerial rolls so that you don't get hit by more attacks than you have to. Also, if you don't want to do an aerial roll at the earliest opportunity, don't hold down the button and instead press the button at the moment you want to recover. This is convenient for when you want to offset the timing with which you recover. Next is the emergency roll, which lets you avoid getting knocked down to the ground when you get smacked. The moment you get knocked to the ground, hold down the A or B or C button to do an emergency roll. In Blazblue, you can still be hit when you're down on the ground, so you want to be prepared to recover at any time. However, only a limited number of attacks will allow you to do an emergency roll. If you don't know whether or not you'll be able to do an emergency roll, you can just hold down the button and you'll recover if it's possible. So here we go. Your opponent is going to do an attack to knock you down. Do an emergency roll once you get hit. You can knock it out, I'm sure. Action! Doing an emergency roll allows you to avoid getting hit by further attacks while knocked to the ground. So at first, you would probably do well to go ahead and do it when you can. However, while emergency rolls are safe, it takes a little bit of time before you're able to move again. So it's easy for your opponent to close in on you and put on the pressure after you do one. Be careful.
Makoto, it looks like you've been handling the tutorial properly.
I can't have you underestimating me. But I'm pooped. I'm good at moving my body around, but explaining things might not be my strong suit. So I'm gonna pass this one off to you, Tsubaki. See ya!
Makoto, hey, wait! She would take off right as I'm about to commend her for doing a good job. I'm sorry about that. Well then, I'll continue the tutorial. There's only a little more left, so let's do our best to hang in there. Now, I'll begin the tutorial for Wakeups. After being knocked to the ground, combine A or B or C with a direction to do one of 4 different types of Wakeups. Press forward and hold A or B or C to do a forward roll. Press back and hold A or B or C to do a backward roll. Press down and hold A or B or C to do a quick wake-up. Leave the direction at neutral and hold A or B or C to do an emergency roll. Since you can attack a downed opponent in Blazblue, it's important to be able to run away from further attacks by freely using the various wake-ups. For now, it's best to develop a habit of getting up in some manner when you get knocked down. Otherwise, you'll keep getting hit when you're down on the ground, so watch out. And one more thing. It takes a little bit of time from when you are down on the ground until you get all the way up. At any rate, when you want to get up off the ground as fast as possible, hold the direction you want to go and hold down the button. Understood? Now then, let's try doing an emergency roll from a knockdown state.
Action!
The benefit of doing an emergency roll is that you are in an invincible state, so it's safe. However, it takes a little while to finish, so it's a bit of a long time before you can move again. This makes it easier for your opponent to close in on you. While you're still getting the hang of things, you can use this method of getting up off the ground, but be sure to gradually start working on other kinds of wake-ups. Forward roll can be done after being knocked down by pressing forward and holding down A or B or C. First, learn its execution.
Action!
Forward rolls are used when your opponent is closing in on you when you're getting up and you want to switch positions with them, and also when you're being chased into the corner of the stage and you want to escape. However, you're only invulnerable for a moment right after the roll starts, so there can be times where the opponent will catch you during your forward roll. Since it does involve some degree of risk, it's not something you should do thoughtlessly. You should watch carefully for the right situation to use it in. Also, you can block during the latter half of the forward roll and backward roll animations. If you activate Barrier Guard while getting up, you'll see your barrier come out as soon as it's possible to block, so that makes things easy. Now, on to backward roll. Backward roll can be done after being knocked down by pressing back and holding down A or B or C. Now, show me one. Let's begin.
Action!
Sun coming! I'm leaving. The hell's that? The hell's that? I'm leaving.
Excellent!
Backward roll allows you to get up off the ground and put some distance between you and the opponent at the same time. So, it's useful for when you want to regain your composure. There's a somewhat longer, invulnerable period during the first half of it, so it has the benefit of being more difficult to close in on. For now, doing a backward roll whenever the opponent knocks you down near the middle of the screen is not a bad choice. Conversely, if you get knocked down in the corner, you will be defenseless if you do a backward roll, so be careful not to do it in that situation. As I explained during the forward roll tutorial, you can block during the latter half of the animation. You can check the timing of when you're able to block by continuously inputting barrier guard while you're getting up. Lastly, there's the quick wake up. It is executed by pressing down and holding A or B or C. I'll go over the specifics after you practice the execution. Now then, quick wake up. Let's try it out.
Action!
The hell's that? The hell's that? I'm leaving. The hell's that? I'm leaving. I'm leaving. The hell's that? The hell's that?
Nice! Excellent!
Quick wake up differs from other wake ups in that you are vulnerable until you get all the way up, but it also takes the shortest amount of time. Also, when you get up with a quick wake up, no light effects appear, so you can throw off the timing of your opponent if they're trying to catch you doing an emergency, forward, or backward roll. With quick wake up, you are able to block and perform special attacks during the latter half of its duration. As with forward and backward roll, if you continuously input barrier guard while getting up, you will be able to see exactly how soon you can do so. Unlike other wake-ups, you can slip in a surprise attack because it allows you to do special attacks. However, as I said in the beginning, you are completely vulnerable until you get all the way up. So be aware that it also puts you at the most risk of getting hit. At last, we've reached the final tutorial for the beginner level. Using the defensive techniques you've been taught up to this point, show me that you can endure your enemy's onslaught for 30 seconds.
Action!
You stupid! You stupid! Chase kicks!
Nice!
Out of time? That was too easy.
Lesson clear.
Congratulations! You've passed the beginner's tutorial. You've done a great job. If you polish up the defensive techniques you've learned here, you'll get KO'd much less often, and you'll naturally improve.
Congrats! You did really well. But the real fight is still ahead, since you'll be training up a storm.
Congratulations! Tsubaki called on me partway through, and I wasn't able to teach you all the way to the end. I'm sorry. I'm truly glad I was able to watch you grow. I'll admit, I'm a little sad that I won't get to teach you anymore. If you feel like you're having trouble, you can always come back and take the tutorial again.